Hello everyone, my name is Sneha Chavan and my today's topic is lymphatic system and immune system. So first let's see about the lymphatic system. Now this lymphatic system, it is somewhat related to the circulatory system. See, in the circulatory system there are the blood vessels, that is the arteries, veins and capillaries through which the blood flows throughout the body. Now this blood, it flows through these blood vessels, and the capillaries, which is a type of blood vessel, is very thin walled. Due to this what happens? Ki the blood, a component of blood, it leaks out in the cells and tissues. Okay. Now the component of blood which leaks out is called as lymph, and this lymph, it is a colorless fluid. Why colorless? Because whatever red color the blood is having is due to the red blood cells, and the part of blood which is coming out is from the plasma, which is colorless, right? So due to this, the lymph is also a colorless fluid. Okay. Now lymphatic system consists of four main parts. First is lymph, second is lymphatic vessels, third is lymph nodes, and fourth is lymphoid organs. Lymph is of, second is lymph nodes. Now see, whatever lymph, it is diffused in the cells and tissues, it is taken out and supplied to the lymph nodes. In the lymph nodes, this lymph is filtrated. Why filtration is necessary? Because this lymph, it may contain viruses, bacteria, impurities. So to get rid of all these things, it is necessary that this lymph should be filtrated. So this lymph, it is filtrated in the lymph nodes, and then it is again returned back to the blood via lymphatic vessels. So the use of lymphatic vessels is to transport the lymph from cells and tissues to the lymph nodes and then to the circulatory system. Okay. Now see, why there is need of lymphatic system? The need is because if this lymph, it gets accumulated in the cells and tissues, it may result in the swelling of cells and tissues and may become fatal. Fatal, that is life-threatening, may cause death also. Hence, there is a great need of this lymphatic system. Okay. Now, lymphoid organs. See, there are two types of lymphoid organs. First is primary lymphoid organs, and second is secondary lymphoid organs. In the primary lymphoid organs, there are two main organs, thymus and bone marrow. Function of primary lymphoid organs is to produce the immune cells. See, the lymphatic system and immune system, they are interrelated, right? So, the function of primary lymphoid organs is to produce the immune cells. Which cells? B cells and T cells. B cells, these cells are produced and matured in bone marrow, hence are called as B cells. And T cells, they are produced in bone marrow, but they are matured in thymus. Thymus, it is the organ which is located in between the lungs. Okay. So in this thymus, the maturation of T cells occurs, hence these cells are named as T cells, right? Thymus T and bone marrow B. These are our immune cells. See, B cells, they are responsible for antibody production. They are also form the memory cells, and the T cells, they are directly involved in the process of immune system. Okay. Now, the function of primary lymphoid organ is to produce, that is production and maturation of the immune cells. Now second is the secondary lymphoid organs. The secondary lymphoid organs, their function is antigen trapping, processing and presentation. Now see, whenever there is an antigen coming in the body, that time what happens? This antigen, it needs to be identified, trapped and processed. Okay. And then it should be presented. Then only it will be recognized by the T cells. If the antigens are not presented, T cells will not be able to recognize. For this, there are different antigen presenting cells. For example, MHC1, MHC2. MHC, it is nothing but the major histocompatibility complex. There are two types of major histocompatibility complex. One is MHC1, second is MHC2. And T cells, there are three types of T cells. TC cells, that is cytotoxic T cells, TH cells, that is T helper cells, and TR cells, that is T regulatory cells. So these cytotoxic T cells, they recognize the antigens which are presented by MHC1, and TH cells, these T helper cells, they recognize the antigens which are presented by the MHC2 complex. Okay. So the function of the secondary lymphoid organs is to trap the antigen, process it and present it to the cells so that the immune response is generated. Okay. Now which are the secondary lymphoid organs? So first is spleen. Spleen is the most important secondary lymphoid organ. After spleen there is galt, balt, malt. Now what are these? Galt is gut associated lymphoid tissue. Okay. Malt is mucus associated lymphoid tissue and balt is bronchial associated lymphoid tissues. These all the tissues, they conduct the same function. Fine. Then after this there is immune system. Now see, we also lymphatic system. Now we all know how important it is for the lymphatic system to perform. And second is immune system. Immune system, it provides us protection from the we can say external particles or also from the various other diseases which can be caused internally. For example, cancer. Right? See, in the immune system, there are two types of immunity. First is innate immunity and second is acquired immunity. Innate immunity, it is the type of immunity which we have from birth, and acquired immunity, it is the type of immunity which we acquire during the lifetime. Okay. Now, there are various, we can say, functions or structures which are present from birth and which provide us protection. For example, we are having the mucus in our nose, or we can say in our tract, GI tract. Okay, this mucus, it is providing the protection from the foreign particles because it traps the foreign particles which are thrown out of the body by the process of spitting. Right. So this mucus, it is it is present from the birth and it helps us to gain protection from the foreign particles. Second is we are having skin. Okay, skin, it is the first line of defense. So skin provides us defense, and there are hairs are present on our skins, in our nose, in the nasal cavities, which also aids in the process of protection from the foreign particles. Fine. Then after that we are having the gastric juice in the stomach. Gastric juice, we all know in the stomach the pH is 2. 2, it is the highly acidic pH, where when the food which we are ingesting, the food, if it contains any of the bacteria, viruses, pathogens, then they are killed in the stomach because the environment there is highly acidic. Okay, so the HCl in stomach, that is gastric juice in stomach, is also something which adds in the process of protection, that is in the immune system. Okay. Now in the immunity there are various types of immunity: active immunity and passive immunity. So let's say active immunity, it means what? In that the body actually have to make something, make mechanism to fight against the infection. And passive immunity means what? Ready-made things are available to the body. For example, let's take the example of antibodies. Okay. See, in some cases what happens ki ready-made antibodies are taken from outside and they are injected in the human body. So antibodies are already made outside and then they are injected in the body. So this is the type of passive immunity. Also the IgG antibody is there. That antibody, it passes via placenta from mother to the fetus. So this is also a type of passive immunity because already produced antibodies are given to the body, right? So it is the example of passive immunity. And active immunity, we can take the example of vaccine. See, in the vaccine what happens? Ki vaccine is nothing but the part of the virus or the infectious agent. Okay, so that infection is not actually happened to the body, but before that, in order to prepare body for that harmful infection, we are taking the dead part, or we can say inactive part of that infectious agent, so that our body becomes active, our body becomes favorable, our body becomes like we can say what we can say like habitual, like means our body will come to know that yeah, this type of infection exists and it may come to our body, so it should be already prepared for that type of infection. That's why we are giving vaccines. Okay, so taking vaccine, it is a type of active immunity. Okay, so in this way there are various systems in our body, and lymphoid system and immune system, they together aid for the protection and for the making our body work smoothly. Okay, fine. then talking about immune system diseases, there are autoimmune diseases and immunodeficiency diseases. Autoimmune diseases means what? Whatever cells in our body are there, they are not recognizing the cells. Okay, so they are destroying our cells of the own body. So this is the autoimmune diseases. And immunodeficiency means what? Whatever immunocells are there in our body, their number is decreasing. They are getting deficient. Hence, it is called as immunodeficiency disorders. Okay. Now, in the immune system, again there are many other cells involved. For example, macrophages, NK cells, that is natural killer cells, and etc. etc. And whatever the cells of immune system are there, they are formed in the we can say thymus, bone marrow, as we saw. And the process, it is hematopoiesis. Okay. There are in the hematopoiesis, precursors are formed, and from that precursors, the progenitors are formed, and from that progenitors, the further cells are formed. Okay, fine. So this is all about the immune system and the lymphatic systems. Thank you so much.